I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some me should stick it in the ballroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some me should stick it in the ballroom. E-pop got me waiting 3 more hours. Sticking all these years higher than a tower. Having all these nodes feel like superpowers. Investing all this bread, never been a coward. Call me Mr. Bond, money in the vault. I stay in the front, feeling like the goal. Don't worry about the haters, got the detonator. I'll kill in every market, call me Terminator. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a metal P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. Some me should stick it in the ballroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some me should stick it in the ballroom.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I am the team lead here, and this is our daily, well, not daily anymore, our weekly AMA, our Monday kickoff. Now our AMAs are Mondays and Thursdays. We have a very special one today, for many reasons, but before we get to that, LA, I want to introduce my co-host with the most, and team member LA. LA, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm good. I always love Mondays. It just feels like this brand new week full of possibilities, and today's been a good one. So I'm happy to be here.
Yes, 100% LA. And for those of you that are longtime listeners of the channel, I'm joining you from a Disney bathroom again today. So the audio might be a little bit different. Again, that's a running joke in our community, enjoying some family time, but obviously have to make time for an AMA. I would show you my video, but I think there's laws against that, so I'll refrain. Yeah, so anyway,
But we did share a nice picture for them all
we
so they
can.
could get a preview.
Yeah, definitely. LA, you want to post that? I know we're having fun in our Telegram for the meme that somebody made, so 100%. But yeah, LA, before we get started, anything you want to add? I know we had a jam-packed show today, but
Yeah.
I love what you said. I mean, Mondays have been super productive, and yeah, we have a really cool week coming up for sure.
I actually thought a cool way to start would be this. I haven't heard you talk about this in a really long time, but I have heard you kind of shed some light on this in past AMAs, like quite a while ago. And I thought it'd be a cool way to start today's AMA, since you're in the Disney bathroom.
Perfect.
But
yes, 100%.
I've heard you talk on past AMAs about why you love Disney so much and how Walt Disney inspired your leadership style, and even maybe how that applies to how you show up at EMP. And I thought that would be kind of a cool little way to start your AMA today, if you don't mind sharing.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely, LA. So yeah, I know. Again, this may be some repeat information for a lot of our longtime community members, but yeah, I mean, again, Walt Disney is one of my biggest idols. Not only do my kids and my wife, we all love Disney, but Disney was truly a visionary, and one of the major things, not only did Disney want to create, the most magical place on earth where not only adults but kids could play and have fun together. Something that never really was a thing, even outside of his artistic skills. Or again, we have that in common as well. But from a business aspect, one thing that I really have built my business on, and something I take away from Walt is, he was never focused on profits first. And again, if you read a lot of documentaries, this was a lot of his downfall, especially in the beginning, and why he had his brother Roy involved was to manage the money because he did things, without thinking about profit, meaning he just wanted to deliver, the best product possible and bring joy to people, and he knew that, the profits would follow. And again, that is definitely how I built my leadership skills and my overall business acumen. Even in the real world outside of crypto, I've ran multiple very successful real world businesses, and for me, it was about solving a need and providing, fun, and again, not trying to put the dollar first. And even at EMP, we didn't create EMP to get rich or to get our friends rich. A lot of the original team was all independently wealthy. Again, we don't really, have EMP to make money. Obviously, Jay gets paid for his development time. We do get a small share of e-shares to keep the lights on. We pay for our chain like Oracle. We pay for all the upkeep. But outside of that, we're not sucking profits out of the ecosystem like 99% of other uh, projects do. And so, yeah, I think that really is a major difference in how we operate. And again, all thanks to Walt Disney, I guess, right, LA? Was that a good overview? I don't know if there was something specific you wanted me to elaborate on, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. He just seemed to have this really unique way of thinking about things, and you share a lot of that. Um, I don't know if it was you who told the story about the gardens and the pathway. Was that you who told that story?
Yeah, so that's a famous story from actually one of our past members, or he's still around, Andrew. Andrew, you've seen him. He actually wrote one of the most successful biographies on Disney. And yeah, so the story that LA is referring to is, um, Walt was in the park. And somebody came up to him, and one of the employees came up to him and said, "Look, these people are walking on the grass. They're wearing a hole in the flower bed, to take a picture in front of the castle, but they're not staying on the path." Well, Walt said, "Well, then we need to make a path." So again, that just shows a totally different mindset where he was always catering to the individual, and it was never a downside. It was always opportunity and just to look at things differently. So again, there's a lot more to that story, but that was the brief version. But yeah, absolutely.
I love it. And I 100% believe that's why EMP has been so successful, because you share that same mentality, and just like your commitment to an entire year's worth of daily AMAs, and being willing to be online at all hours of the night to answer questions and make sure that every person in this community feels important. Just going above and beyond to put heart into everything. And I think that is what has made this community so special and has made EMP last and grow and become this beautiful thing. So I just thought that would be a cool way to start off tonight, and kind of set the tone.
I love it. Yeah, LA, that was perfect. Again, that was not rehearsed. LA said, "I got a surprise for you when we get on." So, yeah, and again, I mean, those are pretty big shoes to fill. I'm as humble as it gets, to even be in the same
Ooh,
sentence with Walt Disney is
AJ is
amazing.
the
Yeah.
Disney of DeFi.
There you go. I love it. Right on, LA. Yeah. That could be the new, I don't know, the Willy Wonka. That's a pretty good ring to it, though. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought you could maybe have two names.
Yes, I have multiple aliases, right? I'm doxxed, but I have all these funny aliases. So yeah. Oh man. All right. Well,
I think I
let's.
might
Yeah.
giggle a lot tonight.
What's that alias? Sorry, you bring it up.
I think I might end up giggling a lot tonight.
Yes, we have a lot on the radar for sure. But one thing I did want to mention just before we jump right in is, that same mentality that you just gave to me, LA, I give that mentality to all of you and that acumen to all of you, our team, all the army members, again, the community in general. I think we've been able to establish some of the brightest minds from around the world at EMP, and that really shows. And I could not do any of this without all of you. So again, I just want to say it's a team effort by all means. And when I say team, I also mean community. Because you guys have been killing it lately, and that's one of the major topics we're going to get into is how the community has driven results over the last few weeks. It's been really amazing. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump right in then. LA, the first thing is Speakeasy. We got another update from Speakeasy. A lot of you may have seen sometime last week is they did their EMP Martini mint. It was a great success, and half of that mint, in terms of EMP, was sent to our treasury to burn. So the total amount was 15,750 EMP burned. So again, great little bit of EMP burn. We posted the transaction ID revenue, so you'll see that again there'll be multiple burns from the address over the next few months and years, hopefully. So yeah, and shout out to Kirk. Again, they're killing it over there. Speakeasy has been paying out. They bought EMP at the absolute bottom. Again, no collusion on that. Just great timing from them, and they're already seeing major yield that will support Speakeasy long term through EMP while also helping EMP. So yeah, pretty awesome stuff. Ella, anything you want to add to that?
It's just awesome and exciting that they've created a protocol that's so supportive of EMP, and we can continue to support them and they can continue to support us. It's very synergistic.
Totally. No doubt. So shout out to Kirk and Speakeasy. Again, if you guys have not gotten involved in that ecosystem, please go join their Telegram, tell them EMP sent you, and do some research. Again, DYOR into getting involved. So all right, this is what I was alluding to. Why I say it almost every AMA, if not every AMA, I should every AMA. We literally have the best community in crypto, and I know a lot of projects say that, but we prove it time and time again. Not only have we raised over $1.5 million in the L1X Pre Sale, which we'll talk about at the very end here, but Peg and eShare have been on an absolute run. Today we saw a pullback, which again, that is just natural. I mean, our peg recovery, and we learned this, again, as long as you're learning from history or mistakes, that's all that matters. And so we learned this on the last run up where we recovered peg in like 4 days. But obviously that was unhealthy, and we ended up coming right back down after the Sentinel Squadron launched, if you look at the chart. Well, now the idea is that we're going to slowly recover peg over time, and a lot of that is spearheaded by you, the community. So I know LA put out a great little motivational call on the last AMA, and I mean, what we saw peg hit 0.27, and eShare went to almost 160, I think. So pretty amazing that we were able to do that, and that's all organic. Again, I mean, we obviously there's some bots, and we can't really do anything about the bots, but definitely keep an eye out. Make sure your slippage is low. Make sure your gas fees are high, because you're going to lose a lot less on a higher gas fee than getting sandwich bots. But my point is that over time, with Fusion rolling out, we're seeing the peg recovery already happening, and it's 100% organic. We haven't done any additional, stipends or injections into buying back, and it's all because of you guys and gals trying to accumulate at these low prices. And we have really awesome stuff coming this week. We're gonna release a lot more info on Fusion that really shows why we're saying what we're saying. And again, when we have this momentum, things can change really quickly around here. So this may be your last opportunity to get EMP and eShare. Again, I always advocate for dollar cost averaging. So never go all in. If you have say you have $1,000 to spend, or $1,000 more of EMP or eShare, buy $100 every day for the next 10 days. Again, you may not get the best price, but you get a lot less volatility in, especially eShare. eShare can be very volatile, so just be prepared for that as we go. But eShare went up to what, like 600 or 700 bucks the last time we were getting closer to peg. So the upside potential is massive. Um, and again, the lower you buy, the greater the upside. That's just how it goes. So, and then up EMP was also performing really well. So again, volume on up EMP is great. Up EMP is over collateralized contract where you mint up EMP through EMP. Again, we can post the links to how to do that, but it always goes up. So because of the way the taxes are in and out, you're always getting that price appreciation on up EMP. So I know a lot of you have been bullish on that too. So anyway, a lot of awesome stuff with Peg and eShare all on the rise. So LA, again, you do such a great job. So you want to add to that? Yeah.
For sure. It's been, I'm sure everyone's been super happy and excited to see things moving up. I've seen some faces that I haven't seen around in a while coming back and, coming into Telegram and stuff and asking questions and getting back involved, which is awesome. What I can say is this. You can see just on the evidence of the last few days how quickly momentum can take over and how quickly things can move up when momentum does take over and everyone in the community starts to get involved and work together, and things can shift really fast. Now, all of that happened before we even put anything out yet. Can you imagine what's going to happen when we do? Can you imagine how quickly the opportunity to get in at low prices is not going to exist anymore? Because you just watched it over the last few days go up significantly like this. So imagine when we actually start putting out information about what's coming and people start to learn that the lower they get in, the more upside potential they're going to have, and everything that's involved in Fusion, they're all, like I said last week, it's going to be like Black Friday. So ask yourself now, is now a good time to get in when the prices are still low and there's a great opportunity for massive upside potential? Or would I like to wait until it feels a little bit more comfortable and safe when everybody's stampeding towards the checkout line at the same time and prices are double, but it feels like everyone's doing it, so then I'll do it? I mean, both are options. Just ask yourself which option is better for you.
I love it. Yes. If that doesn't get your FOMO going, I don't know what will. Oh man, LA again. We're we're on these AMAs, but every time you reiterate it, it gets me excited for what the potential of the future is. And yeah.
And as we're on here, we just hit over 9 million in TVL again.
Amazing. Already climbing back up. Yeah. We were teeter-tottering. I don't know. Did we get over 10 million LA? I know I wasn't watching, but I know we're really close to 10 million TVL. When eShare had that pump, I think we may have been over 10 million for maybe an hour or two. But yeah, I mean, TVL is looking great. Liquidity, again, I've always said TVL is a great measure, but what you really want to look at is the liquidity. Well, again, we still have massive amounts of liquidity between eShare and EMP, over $4 million. Even some, medium cap tokens would kill to have that much liquidity. It's unheard of. I mean, we're, 10,000 in liquidity is a lot sometimes. So to be in the millions is just incredible. And that shows that, people still believe in EMP. Again, I know a lot of people thought EMP was dead over the last few weeks. To LA's point, getting new members in the Telegram saying, what happened with EMP? Or meaning now it's back from the dead, but we didn't go anywhere. We've been paying yield this entire time. Uh, uh, you know, all the while. So again, I think it's a whole nother round of, re-educating and getting people excited,
Mhm.
and really pushing fusion. You know, again, just be aware, there isn't anything we can do about bots. Be very careful with that. There is a swing trader on EMP that likes to uh, buy massive amounts of EMP, but then also dump massive amounts of EMP. But out of all those trades, a lot of them have been in the negative, meaning the value is passed to us. So don't get scared when you see large dumps or large pumps. Just remember to DCA. And when you do see a dump, I know I got a lot of messages in the VIP today that people were waiting for a little bit of a pullback, and they're already gobbling it up. So to your point, LA, that's probably why TVL is going back up already, is buying the dip. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
And here's one
yeah, go
last
ahead.
part I didn't add in yet. We don't have an exact day because we're still working on this with our awesome designer Mike, but we expect that by the end of this week, we're actually going to be putting something out for all of you where we're going to be revealing a lot more information finally in written format. So AJ, I don't know
100%.
what
I
you
know.
want to say
Yeah,
about that.
I
Probably not
do.
much, but
No, I do, LA. Again, I don't. I was pausing for dramatic effect. So yeah, we again. I'm sure you guys have heard about this mysterious character named Cody. We've mentioned him a few times on these AMAs. He likes to stay in the background a little, but I think once Fusion goes live, we'll probably try to have him on, because again, Cody has been instrumental in this Fusion launch. So, I would dare to say that it's his baby, but we've obviously worked with him, dialing in all the economics. But he came to us about literally, what, 4 to 6 months ago, that we've been working on Fusion. And a lot of you may have seen Cody around. I'm sure some of you already know who he is. But he is the epitome of a big brain mother effer, and has the background to back that up. So we all have been working on Fusion tirelessly, and then once we brought the idea to the coders, Jake, our Jake, not Jake with Dex Finance, but our Jake and the other four developers that we now have full time with us, they did their own take on Fusion, and now we're at a point where we are really, really excited, and we're getting really, really close. So I know that we said we were hoping to have Fusion out by the end of the month. Again, I don't think we're gonna meet that. Um, so this is the first AMA that I can say we're not gonna to meet that. But again, we would never put out a deadline, a hard date, and not meet it. We just want to make sure everything is good. But as a consolation, we will be releasing some very a lot more data that actually says why we're telling you what we're telling you in terms of Fusion. So yeah, we're almost done with the graphic. I don't want to call it a white paper quite yet, but it'll be enough info that a lot of you will go, holy shit, this is the real deal. So right, LA, I'm excited.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically something we can put out that will share a lot more information with you guys so that you have a great overall perspective and idea of how it all works while we finish the very, very, very in-depth white paper so that we can put that out very shortly afterwards.
Yep, absolutely. And again, I know we keep alluding to, a big event that will happen in between this white paper release and Fusion going live. That big event, it won't last very long. maybe 2 weeks at most. But this is going to be instrumental, and I think once we release this info, a lot of you will be able to put two and two together on what that big event is. So that will be answered again when we have the new info out. We're going to try to do it for this upcoming AMA, but again, with me, still doing some family obligations, at the very latest, it'll be the Monday AMA of next week. So by the end of the month for sure. But yeah, the big event, the white paper, and then ultimately Fusion is getting really, really close. And to Ellie's point, once this is in the wild, then that's when real FOMO hits in for people even outside of EMP, and that might not be, you're not gonna have as good an opportunity to buy once that happens. I mean, from today's prices, it's a 4x all the way back to peg on EMP alone. So, and again, like I said, when we were at peg last time, each share was at over 600. So, the upside potential is there. Not financial advice. Never, ever, ever invest more than you can afford. Please do not be putting your rent money or any money that you are not fully comfortable with. We are not managing money. No expectation of profit from the work of others. We're simply putting code on the internet, and anybody interacting with EMP or any of our protocol functions, you're the one pressing the buttons. So just keep that in mind for sure. So, all right, awesome. LA, anything else? That was massive. I'm excited. So, I don't know if anything else you want to add before we
But
keep
just
going?
reiterating one last sentence. The lower you get in at, the more upside potential you will experience. That's the last sentence, just to reiterate.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody can dwell on that. So, 100%. All right. On to the next update. But before we get to that, Vino is helping me remind me. Vino missed it. He says 54 people watching, only 28 likes. So again, I'm a horrible YouTuber here. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube page. Again, all of the revenue from our YouTube page is used to support EMP, and it's one of the easiest ways that you can invest in your investment and also learn about what's happening. So again, everybody put in your brick for sure. So all right, the last bit of update here is L1X. So man, LA, it has been a absolute wildfire. You want to kick it off real fast, and then I'll fill in the gaps. But we're over 1.5 million, right?
Yeah, let's see what we're at. We are at 1.554. And wow, it's been such a crazy month. I've lost track of how many AMAs we've done, but well over 25. Everyone that we have done AMAs with, it's like we're over voice, but I can somehow see the light bulb go off above their head. It's like every AMA almost starts off the same way. The person's kind of curious, but also just kind of like, well, why is this any different from anything else? But by the end, they're just like so bullish. And it's exciting to just witness and watch that shift happen somewhere in the middle of the AMA. And you can see that happening in the comments with everyone watching too. And it's just been an exciting ride to go through all these AMAs and just to see so many people
Totally.
really get
Yeah, totally,
just
LA.
have
We
it.
did we did one more
Yeah.
today, and I know exactly what you mean. Even being on that call again, yeah, it's been a wild ride, but it's true. I think the light bulb moment happens with everybody for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so we have, as of tomorrow, we have 3 days left to get in. So whether you haven't gotten in yet because you were waiting for the end, or whether you've been waiting to add more, this is kind of the last opportunity for you to do that.
Yep, 100%. Sorry, LA, I was muted. Somebody was knocking. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no. So, all right. Yes, L1X is going to be massive. Again, everything that L1 or the LA said, but just to review, a little bit more for those that again may not be paying attention fully. Uh, the potential is just unmatched. Um, shout out to SK Crypto K. He did about an 11-minute video today that is absolutely amazing and really it's the best, not only easiest to understand, but most comprehensive video on the insane potential that L1X has. So if you have not watched that video, please do me a favor and watch that. SK is one of the nicest guys that you'll ever meet, uh, both inside and outside crypto. So please go show him some love and watch that video. And if you're not bullish on L1X after you watch that video, then I don't know what you're doing here because it is massive. And so not only is it revolutionary tech, but all the downfalls that you usually see in other layer ones, L1X has solved. So not only are we interoperable, but now we're also interoperable in terms of logic, where two different smart contracts can communicate with each other on two different chains. Um, they have a working test net, so it's not just words. Things are actually functioning. They've already pretty much built the chain again over the last 2 years. So development is closing in on being finished. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the potential of L1X. And so, if you are not involved, definitely consider, and if you're already involved, definitely consider adding to your position. Again, not financial advice, and never invest more than you can afford. Um, and I just want to go over a few more things with L1X. The vesting schedule. So again, you have to be aware that this is going to lock up your capital for a while. So there is a little bit of an opportunity cost involved, but the upside could outweigh that massively. So just to recap, you're getting in at a 10-cent price. But your tokens are vested linearly for 15 months. So if you say you invested $1,000, I'm sorry, $1,500, you would get $100 at that 10-cent price worth of L1X. So 1,000 L1X every month. So again, just be aware of that. And uh, you know, again, not financial advice, but you can potentially ROI in the first month of your entire investment. So again, there is opportunity cost, but once the chain goes live and those tokens are available, you can definitely have a little bit more control on what you want to do with them. But that's also saying I'm sure the people that sold ETH at $1 are pretty pissed. So, just to each their own, not financial advice, and do whatever makes sense for you. But again, all that will be ready. The vesting schedule starts when the train goes live. So as of right now, that's August, and they are on schedule, if not even a bit ahead of schedule from the meetings that I'm involved in. Again, I'm not part of the L1X team, but we are building the launch decks for them. So we're in communication with them very closely. So, and then again, once just historically speaking, every layer one launch has done on average, again, that means the all-time highs of the big ones and ones that have been total scams, has done on average of 42x. So, again, it may not be within the first few months, it may take a while, a year, 2 years, who knows. But I think that a 43x would be pretty awesome. And so that is the potential, and again, if you're talking the top 10 tokens, the average on those is a 15,000x. So again, just put that in perspective for sure. So
That's
yeah,
wild.
yeah, totally, yeah. So all right, and then anything else on that, LA, before we get into the
Yeah,
decks?
one
Yeah,
more.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just so I don't forget to say this, we are actually hosting one more Twitter space on Tuesday. with Dex Finance. And I'm going to go ahead and post the link to that in the comments. Make sure you clicked the set reminder button so that Twitter reminds you on Tuesday. But that's going to be one you won't want to miss.
Yeah, 100% LAN. Again, we're the AMA train, man. I think we've hit every stop we possibly could, but we're gonna bring it home strong. With a specific Twitter space. With Jake again from Dex Finance, and we'll talk specifically about the Dex. And that was the last point that I wanted to make is again, I don't think people are really understanding how bullish the launch Dex contract is for EMP. So we again, just to give a little more background, because of the interoperability and capital efficiency that brings, having access to all capital on all chains, the very first thing that popped in my head was, man, we have got to do an exchange that capitalizes on this. And I approached Dex Finance because I knew that they were already building an exchange, and we again have a lot of the same mentality. We've been trying to work with them on multiple different projects, and we had just finished our Vault partnership with them. And Jake actually sent me a message and said, "Hey man, I want to get in the pre-sale of L1X. What can I do?" And that was before any of this. So we presented the DEX, again, decentralized exchange idea to L1X, and they were so blown away with what we wanted to do that they awarded us the contract. So we will be the launch DEX of L1X, and this means there will be massive volume going through the DEX on day one because that will be the only way to get L1X if you have not gotten into any of the pre-sales. So we're pretty much guaranteed the volume, we're guaranteed the exposure, and all of that leads to revenue, not only for LP providers of the DEX, because again, the mass majority of the rewards will be going towards LP providers so that we get massive liquidity on all chains within our exchange. And, but DEX Finance and EMP, obviously, we're the ones building it, so we get some equity. And the equity that we get, that will be able to be applied to our protocols individually. So, again, to put numbers to it, PancakeSwap does $400,000 a day in fees, and Uniswap does $4 million a day. And I haven't done the math, but if you probably take all the exchanges or dexes on all the top 8 chains, I would say it's probably pushing $10 million a day in fees. And, even if we got 1% of 1% of that volume, that could be tens of thousands of dollars going to EMP every day. And just see what, the peg has done with new buying volume. I mean, again, we saw about $100,000 of buying volume over the last 3 days. And we could be seeing that on a daily basis forever with EMP just from our revenue alone. So again, I don't think people are understanding how amazing that would be, what it will do for PEG, what it'll do for Fusion, because once we have recovered PEG, all of those again, we have many options, so I'm not going to say, exactly what we're going to do, but know that all of the revenue from that will be going through Fusion to either support EMP, support eShare, support Detonator. Again, I know a lot of you have been asking for help with that. So the bottom line is the more revenue the DEX makes, the more revenue EMP makes, which means the more earning all of you will have. So again, all through the way we have Fusion set up, EMP will be the most sustainable, most badass passive income platform with exposure to ETH. So and now even more than ETH, which we'll get into when we release all the info later this week. So all right, I think that was the high level
You got me
overview.
so jacked
I
up.
know,
Oh my
oh
God.
man, you got myself jacked. Oh. What else? Anything I forgot? Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple questions in the YouTube comments. Our friend Old Man Crypto has a question. What is CCIP and why is L1X better?
Yeah, so again, from my knowledge, I meant to look this up before I got in, but CCIP is something that Chainlink does to basically prove that validators are validating the way that they should be. Well, and again, I'm not part of L1X. I'm not part of their team, so just forgive me if this info is wrong or I'm not saying things correctly. But L1X has built actually an AI technology into their validators. And again, Machu, I wish Machu was on because he does a great job explaining this. And if you listen to some older AMAs, he goes into it a little bit, especially I think it's the one we did with you, Bonks, that was like 4 hours long. Um, but basically, it's a way to make sure validators are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And so it's a security feature, and L1X again, not we talk about their cheap fees, the throughput, the interoperability, and we kind of glaze over security, but security is really a number one. Or again, I don't want to. They're all number one focuses, but security is a major focus for L1X as well. So um, again, they have an AI technology that basically tracks um, the main validator nodes that are actually creating the blocks, and if it is able to detect an anomaly in that, again, that's something maybe up, maybe it's malicious, maybe it's not, but it's able to flag those transactions so you can avoid, a double spend or any kind of a hack. So yeah, it's pretty promising, and again, it's definitely different. Again, they have their own version of how they're doing it, but I think it's bullish for the security. And again, typically the more validators, the more decentralized the network is. So the fact that anything can be a validator, whether it's a smartwatch, a smart TV, your refrigerator. I mean, there could be literally millions, if not billions, of validators validating the network. So again, we'll have to see as it gets closer what that all entails. But I'm very confident on the security of L1X for sure.
Awesome.
AJ.
Yes, Joe, go ahead, brother. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah, I just wanted to chime in with that because I've read that. It's funny. The first time I was exposed to the white document, I was just like, "Holy shit!" I don't even know if I'm reading English because there was so
For
much
sure,
in it.
brother. Yes.
But like anything, you break it down in little chunks and you keep revisiting it. And then, yeah, I did a deep dive into the node validation because that whole mobile validator thing just blew my mind. Like, wow, that makes so much sense. And it's funny, Stinky Beans posted something in their Discord where it's a TikTok video of Vitalik talking about in the next 10 years, we want to have Ethereum using mobile devices to do, offloading of the validation to send it back. And he was really talking about what L1X is going to be doing in a few months. And it was just mind blowing that they've reached this level. But yeah, you nailed it. The whole validation is insane because what they did was kind of like, think of like computers and CPUs when they had a processor and they kept making it faster and faster. And then they reached a point where they said, well, the processor is handling so much now. And someone came up with the idea of a coprocessor, meaning let's offload a lot of this data number crunching stuff on a coprocessor to relieve the main CPU. And together, they just make everything more efficient. And that's how L1X is.
Totally.
You've got your main node validators, and then they're utilizing all these mobile devices, and like you said, millions to billions, that can handle a lot of that data intensive stuff collectively and send it back to the main validators or the main nodes to finally build the block and construct it. and like you said, that AI thing is just a whole nother mind blowing, moment where they have someone on the team that, works in AI and through machine learning, and it's some weird name, hierarchy, whatever. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, but they have this technology, like you said, that sniffs out if there's a problem with the main node, and it can kick the transaction from happening. And remember, this all happens in a half a second because a block is created every 500 milliseconds. So we're not talking 15 plus seconds like Ethereum or 15, 20 minutes like Bitcoin. We're talking like an eye blink. This all happens, and it's amazing. And even the nodes, the validators that run, we know that we lose internet connection. They even have that built in where it's able to handle and hold those packets of data and resend it when the connection's back if there's a problem. So everything's been thought of, and it's amazing how it's been all put together. And having 100,000 transactions per second and having that half-second block time creation. And on top of that, master nodes, the main nodes, and the validators of the mobile are all done at random. So unlike proof of stake, like Ethereum that claims to be decentralized, we know that the biggest holders, meaning the ones that put in the most Ethereum, they really control the network, which at the end of the day are the centralized exchanges that are offering staking. So there's a little bit of a question of how decentralized is Ethereum, where this is using proof of stake and proof of participation through a random selector. So it really, that hybrid model has just eliminated that whole centralized aspect, which is, again, another thing that they do. It's like one thing after another where their innovations over the top. And I'm so excited. And I feel bad for the people in 2-3 days when this closes and they ask if it's still open, if they can get it in, and we have to tell them no. So let everyone know now, because when it's over, there is no extension. They're going to have to wait till August during the launch and buy it at 80% more than the rest of us, right? Because it's going to be an immediate 5x.
No doubt. Absolutely, Joe. Again, man, we're all bullish together, I think. And yeah, just to elaborate a little more while Joe was talking, I did look into what that question was. So yeah, CCIP, again, it is everything I was saying about Chainlink. Really is doing a lot. We actually, again, I'm not allowed to call it a partnership. I can't call it an integration. We've been working with Chainlink for a while now. Again, a lot of other protocols are hyping up, oh man, we're going to be using a Chainlink, oh my God, I can't. Basically, it makes it provably fair. And we've been using Chainlink to do our lotteries on Detonator, forever. So again, we're always trying to, make sure we're transparent, we're fully, doing things in a way that can't be exploited, and we have not been exploited. I mean, we have 100% uptime, and we've been delivering on all cylinders. But yeah, from what I looked into, again, just really quick while Joe was talking, CCIP is basically Chainlink's cross-chain implementation. But from what I saw, and again, I could be wrong too, but it's the same thing that we've seen with Polkadot, with Thor, with Cosmos, even Layer Zero is another one. All of them are acting as basically glorified bridges where, there is still custody that you have to give them to even do the transfer. So again, I didn't look into it too much. I'll do some more research and kind of, give my thoughts on the next AMA. But overall, again, I mean, the way L1X does it is brand new tech. I mean, it's been built from the ground up. So, and that's basically a lot more of a question for, the L1X team. I'm sure they can do a much better job explaining it, even though Joe killed it. It's the hierarchical temporal memory, or HTM. Thanks, Randy. So yeah, that is part of what L1X is doing, and honestly, the more validators you have, the more decentralized and the stronger the network becomes. And to Joe's point with Vitalik, L1X is already ahead of the game with all that. I mean, just imagine, being a validator simply by using the L1X wallet. And, again, the validator rewards are randomly generated as well. So imagine waking up, with a couple of cents more of L1X in your wallet to do gas transactions. I know BNB and ETH, they're not sending me more ETH. I'll tell you that much. So it could be really amazing for adoption as well. So, yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you, Joe. LA, any other questions, please, by all means.
Yes. How much of a role will arbitrage play for EMP with L1X?
Yeah, so really the way our exchange, and again this will be, we'll have a whole another white paper where as soon as the pre-sale is over with L1X, we're gonna be releasing, our socials, the name of the DEX. I mean, we'll have a white paper over and this will be over the next few months. Don't DM me the day after the pre-sale and say, hey, where's the white paper? Because it is a work in progress. But we're gonna have a lot less in terms of negative arbitrage. We'll have a lot less issues with our DEX than what we're seeing now. I mean, again, the perfect example is on eShare or even EMP with sandwich bots using the pancake swap AMM. That there's a lot of negative downside to that. That having the EVM bot protection on our exchange will be much better. So because we're going to operate as more of a centralized exchange in the way that the orders are routed and the user experience is, there'll be a lot less issues with potential arbitrage, you know, negatively affecting your orders. Now, in terms of arbitrage in a revenue generating manner, yeah, I mean, if we are managing LPs, and see that there is a discrepancy, then the DEX could potentially step in and make up that difference and arbitrage to our advantage on the DEX. So yeah, I mean, again, it's still a little too early to get into all that, but the whole it's going to be cheaper, safer, faster, and a potential revenue stream in terms of what we're doing behind the scenes as well. So, but again, we're not everybody will have their crypto. This is not going to be FTX. You have access to your capital at any time. We're not managing anybody's funds. When I say that we would take advantage behind the scenes, that means I would put maybe some funds that the DEX has of our own to level out that arbitrage between two liquidity pools and make up the difference. So we would never ever be messing with uh, user funds, and we can't. We would not be able to even if we wanted to because even though it functions as a centralized exchange, you will still own the keys to your crypto. So all self custody. All right, great question. Go ahead, Ellie. Was there some more?
I just wanted to ask if Ahmed wanted to come on voice to ask a question if he's still here. He had his hand up earlier. I'm not sure if he's still on here or not.
Okay.
No, it doesn't look like he's still here.
All right. Sorry about that, Ahmed. If you want to jump back on, or if you want to type your question, I'm happy to answer it in the next AMA. We'll give him a few more minutes to come back. But yeah, I think that was a lot of it. I know, again, we've been doing a good job keeping it around an hour on these AMAs. We're trying to get as much info in, but also be respectful of everybody's time as well. But we're getting really close. Again, I know, we're the masters of the teas. But the idea is that we want to have all of our ducks in a row before we release too much information. And really, too, I mean, we've said this before, but I think once we finally release Fusion, I think a lot of people are going to say, man, this might be good for our protocol, or, taking ideas from what we've done to apply it to their protocol. So we also want to be first mover advantage. I mean, no matter what, nobody will have the EMP community. Nobody has the EMP liquidity. And really, we've seen it time and time again. People have tried to reverse engineer Detonator and failed miserably. So we're not worried about that, but we just want to make sure we're prepared and launch with a bang for all this. So again, the bottom line is all that you need to take away in terms of getting ready for fusion is accumulate as much EMP and eShare as you're comfortable with. And again, that applies to all of our ecosystem. I know there's confusion with that when I say EMP and eShare. If you prefer to have LP, then get LP. If you prefer to have, eShare in the locked farm, put it in the farm. If you prefer Detonator, then go add the Detonator. It's really up to you in terms of your personal preference. But the point is that you want to have as much exposure to EMP as you can, and liquid EMP and eShare, will become very powerful in the near future. And yeah, as long as it's our native assets, up EMP, again, nodes, whatever you're comfortable with. So bonds, we don't talk about bonds a lot. Bonds are kind of they're the tried and true. If you want to get more bonds, you can, and those will also be, part of this equation. So, all right, hopefully that helps. I don't know. Mel is asking growth. Oh, go ahead.
Ahmed, did you want to unmute yourself? Did you have a question? I know your hand was up a little while ago. I unmuted you, Ahmed, if you want to ask your question.
All right. I don't know. Sorry about that, Ahmed. If you're... Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Yeah, there he is. Perfect. Go ahead, bro. How are you?
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, my friend. Did you have a question?
Yes. My question is, marketing, security, community, and partnership are the most important things for the project. So which issue would you prefer the most? And do you have a plan to develop all four aspects?
Yeah, so in terms of EMP, I mean, we just and L1X, are you asking about both, or I guess I'll just answer for both. I mean, I think we've proven ourselves with marketing. We just type in EMP or L1X to YouTube. You'll find a ton of videos. We are looking into some more, and that's actually a good point to bring up. We are looking at more untraditional. Um, Forms of advertising. I know a lot of you have been asking for in-person events or some of these conferences. We'll have some updates on that. I don't want to spoil any surprises, but we'll have some updates on that next week, or as it gets closer. And yeah, I mean, we've definitely. I mean, LA's had probably 3 or 4 different meetings with some Twitter, Twitter ad firms, but we just really haven't found anything that fits what we're doing. A lot of them are money grabs, just looking to prey on like NFT projects. They see people trying to start NFT projects, and then they offer to advertise for you, and they end up making all the money. So we're looking into all that. But really, when Fusion is live, that will be the next round of really heavy promoting and advertising. And that's because not only will that give us something to actually promote, but we want to have a whole new round of potential investors into EMP. So again, Fusion makes things way less complicated where we don't even need to have an academy. Again, EMP Academy has been a beast, but the whole idea is we don't want to have an academy. We want to make it very easy for people to get involved without having to have a degree in finance. So that is the goal of Fusion. and we'll be doing a massive campaign around that. And again, as Peg recovers and everything is looking good, we'll have more capital, we'll have more resources, we'll be paying more, APRs will be going up. The ecosystem, and that's one last thing I'll end with here. The ecosystem has been specifically designed that it is an ebb and flow. It reacts to the input and output of the system. And that's what makes EMP so powerful. Again, a lot of other DeFi protocols do not operate like that. Unfortunately, we've seen a major contraction on the value of EMP, the overall markets, the APR, the value of eShare, all of the above. But now we're entering into that expansion phase again, and that expansion phase, that is when things get really crazy around here, because as the price of eShare goes up, the price or the APR on the farm goes up, the price of EMP goes up, and then you put ETH pumping on top of it. I mean, it can happen in a matter of moments where the ecosystem just explodes. And again, a lot of people are the ones that buy when there's a giant green candle. That's a really good form of advertising. So hopefully all of that will be happening over the next few weeks. And L1X, I mean, they're doing their own advertising. I would definitely reach out to them. They have a major video dropping tonight, or it may have already dropped actually. So I'll update you guys on that. So yeah, a lot of stuff in the works. But yeah, does that answer, Ahmed?
Yeah.
All right, perfect, awesome. Thank you, my friend. All right, awesome, LA. Well, I think was that it. Any other questions from the YouTube, or we're good?
Tiberius wants to know, I don't know, I feel like you did already shed some light on this, so not sure if you want to go deeper, but will we require liquid EMP for fusion over locking it up? Is that the same for eShare?
So yeah, again, I don't want to accidentally give away too much alpha, but yeah, I mean, again, when I say liquid EMP or eShare, I'm just meaning that you're buying it, or that you have accumulated it. So again, a lot of people have already been accumulating eShare. I know Joe posted a hilarious meme in VIP that was like this guy sitting at a bar while the bar is just getting shot up and exploding in the background. And he said, this is how I feel, with all the eShare volatility, because Joe has been earning eShare and accumulating eShare, over the last year. Again, I'm not speaking for Joe. I'm just assuming that's what he has been doing. And so, yeah, I mean, if you already have a fat stack of eShare and EMP, then you're good to go. And once we release this info for Fusion, you're going to be set really, really well for what's coming. But maybe you don't have enough EMP. Maybe you want more EMP. Maybe you're so excited about the gains that we're going to be able to give through Fusion that you want more ownership of Fusion. And really, that's what it boils down to. So the amount of eShare or EMP, whether it's liquid, whether it's in LP, in Detonator, in Reactor, in nodes, in bonds, any part of our ecosystem, not growth or Splinterlands, because those are two separate tokens, but they will play into, again, all Detonator as a service protocols will also play into Fusion, but definitely focus on the EMP and the eShare for the ownership part. But it really translates into ownership of Fusion. So it's that simple. The more EMP and eShare, the more exposure you have to our ecosystem, the more ownership of Fusion you then will have. So again, once we release this info, it'll make a lot more sense. Those of you that have been in DeFi for a while probably know what's going to happen. But again, there's no unfair advantage to anybody. We're just being very careful what we say. But again, the bottom line is get EMP and eShare as cheaply as possible. So, right, LA, I think that's a good overview
Yeah.
without giving away too much. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like you've painted a lot of different pieces that can be put together tonight. When you were talking about why the DEX is so powerful, and how there's going to be opportunities for revenue sharing, and how we're moving to a revenue sharing model based on ownership, and why there's a reason why you want to have as large of a share of ownership as possible. And now's your opportunity to ensure that you have a larger percentage of ownership by taking advantage of low prices. So, I mean, that's kind of helping connect some of those dots. The rest you can connect for yourself. But there's one more question. Will Fusion have a positive effect on Level X?
Yeah, so again, the short answer is probably, because you're going to be earning more EMP, which will then be worth more. So therefore, Level X becomes more valuable as a income producing asset. And yeah, I know we've seen continued FUD on Level X. Again, we've gone over it many, many times. Don't play into the FUD or do. I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I can tell you that we're building. I mean, Level X will be the first detonator as a service after Fusion. Unfortunately, we just had to put all of our resources and dev time into getting Fusion out. And really, it makes it even more powerful. Once you guys see what we've done on how these detonator as a services will interact with Fusion, you're gonna go, oh my God, like they solved that too. So yeah, it again, everything is happening for a reason. Nobody from the team again that I'm aware of, we continue to monitor, is dumping. This is all just people that did their got in on the pre-sale, or are panic selling at a loss. But the more that you're able to yield through Level X, the more the more valuable it becomes. So yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, LA, for sure.
I think you're good. Yeah,
All right,
that's good.
all right,
I think
awesome.
that's a good place to wrap it up, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Again, I mean, everything in our ecosystem, whether it's Level X, L1X, Splinterlands, again, we'll have some updates with them, hopefully next week as well. I mean, they're just literally every part of our ecosystem, both inside and outside of our ecosystem, is just ripe for opportunity. And, we still see some indecisiveness in the market. I know it had a big dump earlier. Now it's rallying again. I mean, it doesn't want to make up its mind. But I can say over the next few months, rather than thinking in terms of hours or days, I know that's really hard in crypto. We're used to that instant gratification. But if you can train yourself to not have to have instant gratification, have a long-term mindset, slowly and methodically DCA into your favorite projects, and simply just be here for when that bull run finally happens. We're going to be having a lot of fun on these AMAs because we'll be talking about how much we're all killing it together. So that will be coming. Just have patience. Not financial advice. Just focus on what we're doing. I mean, we're building. We're always building. We've never stopped building, and we never will stop building. We're going to continue to implement things into the protocol that make it even more bullish. And in terms of community and price action and sustainability, and all of that plays into each other. So, all right. Again, I think that's it. LA, any final words of wisdom before we head out?
That's it. I hope everyone has a great day or night. Thanks for being here with us. We love you all, and can't wait to see you on Thursday.
All right, awesome. And yes, I will bid you all adieu from the Disney bathroom. Thank you all for being here. Again, Mondays and Thursdays, 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We come to you live on these AMAs. So we'll see you on Thursday. Good night, good day. See you soon.